Now, if you've been following my content for a long time, you know that I'm a big proponent of sandwiching your runs between a dynamic warm-up before you head out the door and some kind of post-run core strength workout when you're finished with your run. Today, I want to talk about the dynamic warm-up. I just recently published a video saying you should do a dynamic warm-up before every single run that you do, even the very short recovery runs where you actually don't really need a dynamic warm-up. Now, you can go back to that video and see all the rationale for why we're still gonna do a dynamic warm-up, even when we technically don't need to. But in this video, what I wanna do is share what you're gonna do if you only have a couple minutes. You're about to start that run, you realize you need to get out the door very, very soon, but you still wanna get in some kind of a dynamic warm-up. What we're gonna do in this video is show you a less than 5-minute warm-up routine that is going to be strategic for 3 reasons. One, it's going to cover muscle fiber recruitment. So in other words, you're going to recruit a bunch of muscle fibers, which is gonna help you warm up for the run. Number 2, it's gonna help with the skill aspect of running. We're going to fire up the nervous system and really get you to really work on that neuromuscular mind-body communication pathway. And then finally, the third physical skill that we're gonna work on in this warm-up is simply range of motion. So we can do all 3 things. We can recruit a lot of muscle fibers, move through a variety of different ranges of motion, and then work on that neuromuscular component by doing something snappy, quick, power-oriented. Even if it's only 1 or 2 exercises per skill, we are going to be really warmed up and feeling a lot better than if we just headed out the door for our run with absolutely no warm-up. So let's get started. I'm going to show you just a couple exercises here. This is our less than 5-minute quickie warm-up. All right, ready? We are going to do 5 exercises. Squats, couple different variations, lunges with a twist, single leg deadlifts, then we're gonna do some side leg swings, and then finally some marching drills. And these exercises are going to satisfy all 3 of these goals: muscle fiber recruitment, working on that neuromuscular connection, and then of course, range of motion, moving in different ways than we normally do with running so that our running form feels more smooth and more fluid. So let's get started with some squats. And like I said, we're gonna do some variations. So we're gonna do a normal body weight squat. After 5 reps, I'm gonna switch to a sumo position, a little bit wider with my toes flared out. This is going to recruit more of the glutes, which is important for us runners. We gives you 5 regular squats, 5 sumo squats, and I do like to do these narrow squats too. These are fun. They force you to balance a little bit more, focus a bit more on the quads as well. So I'll do 15 reps total, and then I'll get ready and do my lunges. These lunges with a twist are great for your sense of balance, working in different ranges of motion. This transverse plane, that's your rotational, oh, you see I'm falling over. This is your rotational plane of motion, and there is some rotational work in our running stride. Every time that we go for a run, there is some rotational movement, so it's important to practice that. Once we've done about 10 reps, then we can start with our single leg deadlifts. Single leg deadlift is great because it really focuses on your balance, but also opening up some of that range of motion. Start on one leg, and when you're not warmed up, this will be a challenging exercise. And the other thing you can do here is when you come down into this position, sort of move around a little bit. You sort of rotate to one side and then back down, rotate to the other side and come back. And that's just going to really open up your hips a little bit more and improve your stability on one leg. And of course, running is a single leg exercise. So we want to make sure that we are doing exercises that mimic the demands of running. So once you have done about 10 or so these single leg deadlifts, maybe you just want to stay in that end position and do some rotation work, open up the hips.
You know, I'm not that big into supplements, but I do love AG1 by Athletic Greens. I consider it my nutrition insurance, helping me cover all my bases so I know I'm not missing out on anything my body needs, especially when I'm training really hard. I try to eat really well, but of course, AG1 is that extra security that gives me peace of mind over my diet. 1 scoop per day, and I'm getting 75 vitamins and minerals, prebiotics, probiotics, antioxidants, and adaptogens. You can try it out too at athleticgreens.com/Jason, and they're going to throw in a free year's worth supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. Check it out at athleticgreens.com/Jason.
Now we are ready for our side leg swings. I'm going to hold on to this here and just go back and forth. This really helps open up the hips. It's a great exercise for our hurdlers. And of course, hurdle work is great for any runner, even if you don't do any hurdles or anything like that. So if that was a little far away, what you want to do for a side leg swing is hold on to a stable surface, whether it's a bench, a tree, the side of a wall somewhere, and then you will simply swing your leg back and forth. Make sure you're getting enough where you're feeling that on the side of your glute up in your hip. And then of course, when you swing back this way, you'll feel a little bit of stretch in your groin area. Now we're ready for our marching drills. Now marching drills are going to be quick, and the goal here is to put down a lot of force into the ground. Put down the force into the ground. Don't worry about getting your knee up really high. That is going to just be a byproduct of you putting force into the ground. Whew. And the goal here is just to be quick. There we go. Now, as you can see, I'm out of breath already just by doing that. And this was less than 5 minutes. You could spend a little bit more time, a little bit less time doing these exercises. But I want to impress upon you that a dynamic warm-up doesn't have to take a long time. You don't have to spend an hour warming up for a run. Now, of course, the faster the workout, the more important the warm-up is. So I wouldn't recommend doing a short, quickie warm-up like this before a very difficult, faster training session. You really want your body ready for that hard effort, and a good warm-up is going to really metabolically prime you for that. I'll leave links under this video to the standard warm-up and also the Matic warm-up routine. These are some really great routines that are a little bit longer, a little bit more thorough and comprehensive for runners. So if you have 10 minutes, that is definitely the routine for you. But if you're short on time, focus on a couple exercises that are going to give you a few different things, whether that's range of motion, working on that really quick neuromuscular connection, and also working on recruiting more muscle fibers through compound multi-joint exercises like a squat. Hope this was helpful. Until next time.